Okay, I am here with Catherine Engelbrecht. Did I pronounce that right? Here in the Bloggers Lounge. Catherine, tell me about your work.
I am the founder of a group called True to Vote. We are about engaging citizens to work in the election process in ways that I think we've long since forgotten we are needed, working at the polls, working to make sure our registries are clean, working to make sure that what we find wrong with the process is later addressed in our legislative sessions, and essentially just working to protect the rights of legitimate voters, and we're working all over the nation.
Now, one of the things that always amazes me about those who argue that voter ID is discrimination, when I go and buy my groceries and I pay by credit card because I want my Amazon points, I have to show ID, even though they know me now because of the fedora and everything else. I have to show ID. How is it that my supermarket is not racist and discriminatory for requesting that ID, but voting is supposed to be?
Well, I mean, I think it's a completely illogical premise that we must, as right-thinking individuals, continue to just hold the line on and call them out. You know, in a modern society, we need identification for any number of things. But more to the point, it's been proven time and again by polling data that the overwhelming majority of all Americans, of all people types, support voter ID.
And of course, when I see lawyers suing my supermarket, then I'll believe it.
Right. Or when you see Eric Holder get rid of his own identification requirements to get into their building.
Very true.
How is he not discriminating?
Now, when you're talking about truing the vote, as you said, it's not just a question of showing ID. It's a question of going to the rolls. There's a lot of actual grunt work involved to get honest elections, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were stunned by what we saw when we first dipped our toe into this in 2009, and it's really why we are where we are now, because we recognize that we have abdicated, we've left the field, we've left it to the government to do, and what you see when citizens become MIA are patterns like Washington, like Oregon, where they're almost all mail-in. And that's not where we want to go. But if citizens don't turn out and get involved, then there's little choice but to go to that direction.
Now, it seems to me that the more that the average grassroots citizen gets involved, the harder it is for the left. In what ways do they, other than playing the race card, their favorite card, in what ways do they try and slow and restrict you?
Oh, well, I mean, most forcefully with lawsuits. That's been a favorite measure of choice. But their claims of poll watcher intimidation. I mean, certainly the fact that we see our own administration, our own Department of Justice, strong-arming states that are trying to better their process, suing states because they don't have enough registration offices in public service places. It's just become a wedge issue, and it seems as though, regrettably, the left is determined to split us in half over it, and it's unfortunate. Everybody should want fair elections.
Now, I live in Massachusetts, and in the neighboring state of Rhode Island, one of the most democratic states around, a voter ID law passed, much to our delight and everyone's surprise. So, do you see that this is an issue that can go on and be strong even in democratic strongholds?
Oh, I think so. I think, what we see is that you have a very few people speaking for what we would classically consider the left, but they're speaking very loudly. And it's going to take people of courage, like what we saw in Rhode Island, or like we saw with Arthur Davis.
You anticipated my next question.
I mean, and speak the truth.
And can you explain, because I was literally about to ask you about Arthur Davis, can you explain who Arthur Davis is?
He is a former representative from South Carolina or Alabama?
Alabama.
And he did a genius interview with Daily Caller, I believe is where where it was first released, where they asked him about his experiences when he was in office, what he heard.
And this is a Democrat.
Pardon, yes, this is a Democrat, it's an African-American Democrat, talking about what he witnessed himself when he was running for office or when he was in the throes of campaign strategy. Plans to subvert the process, plans to buy votes, plans to forge names. He admits he never participated in it, but he heard it and he knows it happened. And it was a stunning interview.
And for that, I'm sure he's probably as welcome as an apostate in the local mosque.
I'm sure he's paid a high price for that.
Well, Catherine, where can people go to find out more, or to help, or to get involved locally?
Oh, absolutely. We would love people to get involved. They can go to truethevote.org and sign up. If they want to be put to work immediately, we are currently in a project called Verify the Recall, where we are verifying all the signatures in the Wisconsin recall petition. And it's an exciting project, something that people can do right now. So truethevote.org.
Now, I am going to do something I normally don't do in an interview. I'm going to add a comment of my own at the end. And I want to remind anyone who watches this, you always get the government you deserve. If you choose not to have this honest vote, if you choose not to take the time to make sure your vote is honest, you will reap the reward of that. And those are I'm stealing your thunder with that, but it needs to be said.
True. It's true. I often say if our elections are not truly fair, we're not truly free.
Catherine, thank you very much for your time, and my best for your success all throughout CPAC.
Thanks so much.